Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Elyssa and my friend Vani and Nurdina. We are going to explain about family and social values in Spain. The first is a quick glance into the history of Spain. Spain is located in the southwestern region of Europe. The name España derives from the Roman Empire's Hispania, ruling of the Iberian provinces, in which Spain occupies 85% of. The national language is of course Spanish, a Romance language descendant of Latin. Spain has a very complex history of foreign invasion, as well as being the center of one of the biggest empires in the world, the Hispanic Empire, which colonized many overseas territories. From being ruled by a dictator to parliamentary monarchy, the Spanish are passionate about democracy and do not let politics control their life. With a hefty population of an estimated 47 million people, the Spanish are known for their laid-back and vibrant lifestyle. Spanish social values. Generally, personal connections are very important, both family and friends. Being loyal and being useful are far more important than being nice. Complaining and even anger are ways of joking, but sadness is seen as weakness, and like in all cultures, whatever is seen as weakness must be hidden. So bidding behind humor is an art here. Honesty is highly valued, but so is pride, and both things tend to clash. People take pride and identity from their jobs and non work well done. It is the way in which you are useful to the community, but they don't obsess over it nearly as much as the Anglo-Saxon world does, and are far more cooperative than competitive. They work to live, but they don't live to work. Siesta. Siesta is the Spanish word for nap. So in Spanish, in Spain, life is just full of siesta. Having a siesta in the middle of the day is a reflection of Spaniard laid-back lifestyle. This doesn't mean that Spaniards are lazy and need to take a nap every single day. It just shows that their values are placed. They don't need to be doing something every second of the day. Every moment should be cherished and spent with loved one as much as possible. Siestas are a time to take a break from your busy day and spend time with the family. Social structure. Although the culture of Spain is generally viewed as laid back, there is a sense of structure present in the country. In terms of laws and rules, most Spaniards prefer to have set laws in place so it is always known how to act in certain situations. Even if the laws or rules are not followed 100% of the time, they are still there, so there is no room for uncertainty. Another small note to add in with structure is the proper way that people in Spain greet each other. Since they value respect and authority, it is common to start a greeting with a very welcoming handshake, nice greeting, and pretty heavy eye contact. The next is cohesion. The people of Spain value cohesion and being at peace with one another. Within their education system, they're taught to be cooperative and stick with the group, rather than distancing themselves and creating competition. This sense of cohesion within the culture can be defined through another one of a state's dimensions in the term collectivism. Collectivism versus individualism means that the people within the culture prefer being in a group and getting along rather than doing things with a focus of just themselves. With the people of Spain placing a high value on the love and connection with their family, they also want that sense of unity with everyone else around them.
My name is Vani Nurdina, and now I would like to explain about family values in Spanish. So, family is the most important aspect of most Spaniards' lives. First, family holds a special place within the Spanish values. It is a symbol of safety, integrity, recognition, and above all, love. And then the second is despite the social changes that the family model has experienced within the last few years, Spaniards still turn to family as their first social reference. This is why within the family, people acquire the moral values which identify them for the rest of their lives and transform them into social and competent beings. And then the third is family has been a dynamic institution throughout the history, adapting to the different times at different speeds. The increasingly higher presence of women in work life, gender equality, and the late emancipation of young people are just some of the consequences of social changes that we experience in our daily life. That being said, family remains the main focus of coexistence. And then the last is Spanish families are mostly known for being welcoming to outsiders. We work hard to make them feel at home, loved, respected, and cared for. Displays of affection reduce personal distance and the effort put forth so that a person does not feel lonely are some of the features that define from the Spanish. So the first thing in the family values in Spanish is household structure. Spanish households are becoming smaller and the family structure is changing with modernity and urbanization. However, family members generally seek to live in close proximity to each other where possible. So this cultural pattern reflects the closeness of family relationships. However, it is often necessitated now by the high cost of living and economic struggles faced by younger generations in Spain over the past decade. And also, generally, once a child has met a long-term partner, they will seek to move out of their parents' home. There is a Spanish saying that casado casa queer, a married person wants a house. This refers to young couple wanting their own privacy and space once they are in a committed relationship. This aspiration can literally include home ownership, but not necessarily. And sometimes three generations may live together with grandparents moving in to help with raising children. However, many elderly people in Spain are quite independent. It is common for them to live alone or as a couple and receive visits from children, other relatives, or friends often throughout the week. Elderly Spaniards also often know many locals throughout their town or neighborhood that they may see at plazas or during their daily errands. So, it is very uncommon for families to put elderly relatives in retirement village or old age care homes. If someone is in need of daily care, they usually move in with other members of the family. Then the next is gender roles. Traditionally, men are the primary income earners while women are responsible for domestic duties and raising children. This division of roles still prevails, particularly in rural areas. Responsibilities relating to children remain largely the woman's task, for example, is dropping them off at school, parent-teacher interview, and etc. Women may be judged by their domestic ability to some degree. For example, is mother may judge her son's new girlfriend by her culinary skill or whether or not she offered to help around the house. However, today the majority of Spanish women are in the workforce and have their own career in conjunction with their household duties. But however, Spanish culture continues to carry some sexist undertones. Stereotypes that depict women as beautiful and unintelligent are quite popular in Spain, and catcalling or wolf whistling is common. While machismo is not as strong in Spain as it is in Latin America, This cultural phenomenon somewhat influences gender roles. Men are expected to have a large sexual appetite, so while infidelity is not accepted or encouraged, it is somewhat thought to be inevitable on their behalf. Meanwhile, women are expected to be more virtuous and loyal to their husband. Then the next is some of unique values in family values in Spain, such as holiday tradition. Like many other cultures around the world, Spanish families hold true to their unique holiday tradition. For the first is the 12 grapes. Families and friends in Spain ring in the new year by eating grapes. For over a century, the people of Spain have engaged in the New Year tradition of eating one grape per each bell ring at midnight. The grape symbolize each lucky month that the Spanish people hope to have in the upcoming year. The second is Three Kings Day, which is in the families in Spain celebrate something called Three Kings Day. The celebration held on January 6 is to honor baby Jesus and the three wise men. Parades are held in honor of the day. Celebrators feast on the traditional dessert bread called rosca de reyes, and children lift their shoes out for the wise men to fill with gifts. And then the last is Villancicos. This tradition is celebrated during the Christmas season and is essentially Spain's version of Christmas caroling. Families and friends gather to celebrate the holiday season by singing traditional songs like Noche de Paz, Mi Burrito Sabanero, or Los Peques en el Rio. Aguinaldos is another version of Christmas caroling, only here carolers surprise friends with song late at night. Then the next is such a principle in a Spanish family. This is the work hard and play hard. Parents and families in Spain have found a balance between working hard and playing hard. They put long hours into their careers, but then make sure to take time and celebrate their tradition, celebration, and most importantly, their families. So they really prioritize their family in addition to the busyness of each family member. And then the next is in Islam, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala also explained the position of the family in the Quran, Surah An-Nisa, the verse 36. This verse is explained has a meaning is worship Allah and do not associate anything with Him, and do good to both parents, close relatives, orphans, poor people, near neighbors and neighbors far away, and colleagues, Ibn Sabil and your slaves. Verily, Allah does not like those who are arrogant and boastful. In this verse, there is explained that there is an order from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to worship Allah Almighty, respect both parents, and love our relatives and people around us. The family, especially the parents, has a position after Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Here, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala shows how important the position of the family in Islam. And thank you. If you have any question, you can leave them in the comments column. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.